Hi, in this session we will deal with Fourier transforms. In the previous session we have done with Fourier integrals. So Fourier transform is actually a special case of this Fourier integrals. You are obtaining the Fourier transform from the definition of Fourier integrals only. Okay, so if you know the definition of Fourier integrals, this Fourier transform also will be easy to calculate. Okay, for your examination purpose, you need to know only how to find the Fourier transform and also the inverse Fourier transform. Okay, so you have studied about integral transforms when you study Laplace transforms in detail. Okay, so such detailing is not needed for you in the Fourier transform case because for examination purpose only the definitions and basic computations are required. Okay, so in the Laplace transform you had studied how to take the Laplace transform, inverse Laplace transform, how to solve differential equations using Laplace transform and everything. So we will not be studying in such detail here. Here only basic definitions and basic properties are required for you from the examination point of view. So here we will be studying how to take the Fourier transform and also the inverse Fourier transform and some basic properties. Okay, so as I told you, these transforms are usually used to simplify certain problems here, but we are not going to do with so much applications of Fourier transform in this module because for your syllabus that much is required. So if you want to study more about Fourier transforms, you can watch the YouTube for more applications of that, but for our examination purpose it is not required. Okay, now Fourier transform we will be studying two types here. We will be studying how to take the Fourier transform and also how to take the inverse Fourier transform here. Okay, now the definition of this Fourier transform is actually obtained from the definition of Fourier integral. We have studied Fourier integral in the previous class. I hope you understand the formula of Fourier integral earlier. Okay, so it is from the Fourier integral definition the motivation of Fourier transform is obtained. Okay, so as I told you, the transform is basically a two-step process. One should know, you will first of all will be simplifying some problems involving transforms by first of all taking the transform, and also you should know how to take back the transform. Okay, so it's a two-stage process. One is taking the transform, and the second one is taking the inverse transform. So that is how problems are solved using transforms. Okay, that is, you have a problem, you will be converting into the transform domain, you will simplify it there, and from the solution you will read out the original solution. Okay, so two steps are there: taking the transform and also taking the inverse transform. So here also when you study Fourier transform, you should know how to find the transform and also how to find the inverse transform. Okay, now the definition of this transform is actually obtained from the Fourier integral representation. The derivation is not required for you, but I am still just telling you I'll just tell you some fine points so that you can understand the definition of Fourier transform. The derivation is not required for you, but I'll just stretch this for you. That is, what I'll do is that in the Fourier integral, we'll just substitute the value of this a omega and b omega. Okay, so I'll just substitute the value of this a omega and b omega in the definition of Fourier integral f of x here. So that means this integral will have something like f of x will be there, cos omega x will be there, cos omega is there here. So it will be like cos of cos and sine of sine will be there. So your integral will become like, it will be a double integral. What will be like 1 by pi integral 0 to infinity integral minus infinity to infinity f of x into cos of cos plus sine of sine. So it will be like cos a minus b form in the inside the integral. Okay, then we will be using some properties of odd or even functions of cos and sine to actually convert this integral into a complex form like this. Okay, so this is actually the Fourier this is the complex form here. It's not needed for you, but still I'm telling you, when I substitute the value of a omega and b omega into the Fourier integral representation f of x and simplify, and also I use the odd property of cos function, odd property of sine function, and even property of even property of cos function, I can actually convert the integral into this form. Okay, so it will be like this one, and this e raised to I theta is obtained from the formula that e raised to I theta is equal to cos theta plus I sin theta. So actually you are using those properties and everything to derive this formula. It's a very simple derivation, but it is not required for the examination point of view. Just need to try to understand this is the complex form. Okay, and now I am just mentioning this complex form so that I can define the Fourier transform using this formula. Okay, the definition of Fourier transform actually obtained from this formula. So what I'll do is that this I'll be rewriting this formula like this. This will be written as 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to infinity, again integral minus infinity to infinity f of v, then e raised to minus I omega v, okay, dv, okay, then there is e raised to I omega x d omega. Okay, so the inner integral is with respect to v, the outer integral is with respect to omega. Okay, so the inner integral is with respect to v, outer integral is actually with respect to this omega. Okay, now this quantity that is integral minus infinity to infinity f of v into e raised to minus omega v dv is called the Fourier transform. Okay, and to get back the original function, what I have to do, so if I call this as some capital F, this is actually equal to 1 by 2 pi into integral minus infinity into infinity this capital F into e raised to I omega x d omega. So when I substitute this one, I'll get back the original function, which is f of a. Okay, so this is the idea. So how to find the function? So this is defined as a Fourier transform, and to get back the original function, you just substitute into this formula. This is the inverse Fourier transform. So this is the motivation of the definition. Okay, this is just for information. It is not required for examination, but this is how we are going to define the Fourier transform. Okay, so when I define it like this, there's a probability that you will be making some mistake with the scalar. Sometimes you will put this 1 by 2 pi here or 1 by 2 pi here. So even if you put it anyway, it's just the same thing here. But for simplification or for symmetry, I'll just call the Fourier transform as 1 by root 2 pi of this and this as 1 by root 2. I'll be distributing this 2 pi to both sides. Okay, so this is how I'm going to define the Fourier transform. Okay, so let me emphasize once again, all this is not required for you. For your examination purpose, you should know just what is the definition of Fourier transform, what is the definition of inverse Fourier transform. All these points which I have stressed here is just to show you that the Fourier transform is actually obtained from the Fourier integral formula. For that I am emphasizing this, but it is not required for examination purpose, or for your examination purpose only the definition of Fourier transform is needed and the definition of inverse Fourier transform is needed. Okay, so now let us define the definition of Fourier transform. What is it? So suppose you have a function, okay, f of x. The Fourier transform of f is defined as simply this one. Only this much you have to study. The Fourier transform is defined as 1 by root 2 pi integral minus infinity to infinity f of x and e raised to minus I omega x dx. So the problems will be coming here. They will give you a function. They will ask you to find the Fourier transform. Only that much is required for you for the examination purpose. The derivation and everything is not required. This was just for your information I was telling you. Okay, for you only this much is required. And the inverse Fourier transform, the original function is obtained by this one. The original function is obtained by f of x is equal to 1 by root 2 pi. Now the Fourier transform is represented by the symbol f cap of omega. So this is the Fourier transform. Fourier transform is represented by the symbol f cap of omega, or also you can write it as capital F of x. So there are many representations are there. You can use any representation. I am using the textbook representation, which is f cap of omega here. So this is the Fourier transform, and for the inverse Fourier transform, you just substitute this f cap of omega here. So it will be 1 by root 2 pi minus infinity to infinity f cap of omega e raised to I omega x d omega. Okay, one more thing here, the variable of integration is x. So when you integrate, you will be getting a function in terms of this omega only, because everything will be substituted by the limits here. So now when you integrate this one, this is the variable of integration is omega. So x is the constant here. So when you integrate, you will be getting the value in terms of this x here. Okay, and as I told you, since the definition is coming from the Fourier integral formula, different textbooks have defined Fourier transform in different ways. Some textbooks may define Fourier transform as simply minus infinity to infinity f of x into e raised to minus omega x dx, and inverse transform as 1 by 2 pi. Okay, some textbooks may define Fourier transform as 1 by 2 pi into minus infinity to infinity f of x into e raised to minus I omega x dx, and this inverse as simply minus infinity to infinity, like so. Like that, just by changing the constants, you can derive many equivalent definitions of Fourier transform. Okay, even in some textbooks they have written the Fourier transform as f of x into e raised to I omega x itself instead of -1, and for the inverse transform they have given f cap of omega into e raised to minus I omega x dx. So it depends upon the textbook. For us, our standard textbook is Kreyszig, and I will be following the notation, the Kreyszig textbook, which is written here. So just follow this definition. But if you are referring other textbooks, be mindful that there can be changes in the scalars. Always follow the notation given in the prescribed textbook. So this is the notation I am going to follow. Okay, so from this discussion you should know the definition of Fourier transform. Only that much is required for you. Okay, now let us try to do some problems of finding Fourier transform. Okay, so let's try some problems here. Okay, let us find the transform of f of x is equal to 1. So let us try the Fourier transform once again. What is it? F cap of omega is defined as 1 by root 2 pi integral minus infinity to infinity f of x into e raised to minus I omega x dx. Okay, so this was the definition here. So we'll try to do the problem here. So these are the problems which are coming for you. So what is the definition? How will you do it here? So it is simply 1 by root 2 pi into integral minus 1 to 1 f of x is 1 e raised to minus I omega x dx. And what is the value of this? That's simply 1 by root 2 pi e raised to minus I omega x by minus I omega in the limits minus 1 to 1, or simply it will become 1 by root 2 pi, what is it, e raised to minus I omega minus e raised to again plus I omega, so plus I omega divided by minus I omega. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay, if you want you can simplify it further, that is, you know that e raised to I theta minus e raised to minus I theta is actually 2I sin theta. This is from the De Moivre's formula, that is e raised to I theta is cos theta plus I sin theta, e raised to minus I theta is cos theta minus I sin theta. So when you subtract, you will be getting it as 2I sin theta. So here you will be getting, so you can simplify it as 1 by root 2 pi into, since this is the negative of that, so you will be getting it as minus 2I sin theta by minus I omega. So you can cancel out I here, negative here, so it will be 2 is there, root 2 will be cancelled, so will be answer will be root 2 by pi sin omega. Okay, so here sin omega by omega. So this is the required Fourier transform. Okay, so be careful with this problem. The answers to this problem is wrongly given in your textbook. So in the textbook, this is the answer given to you. It's because they have made a slight mistake here, but the correct answer is root 2 by pi sin omega by omega. Okay, that's a mistake typo there. So please correct it. Okay, so this is the correct answer. Okay, so these problems will be asked for your exam. Find the Fourier transform of some elementary functions. Only that much is required for you. Okay, in some textbooks and guides they have given you very tough problems. It is not required for you. Just try to do some simple problems involving this definition only. Only that much is required for you. In many guides they have given very tough problems, but that is not required for you. Just try to do some basic elementary problems. That is enough. Okay, for examination purpose. Okay, and similarly we can do one more problem here. Let us find the Fourier transform of e raised to minus ax. So let us write always write the formula. Fourier transform formula is 1 by root 2 pi integral minus infinity to infinity f of x into e raised to minus I omega x dx. So applying that formula here, it will be simply 1 by root 2 pi. The function is only from 0 to infinity, so it is actually 0 to infinity e raised to minus ax into e raised to minus I omega x dx. So it is actually 1 by root 2 pi integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus x into a plus I omega, okay, dx here. So when you integrate, what will you be getting? So when you integrate, what will you be getting? Okay, so it is actually 1 by root 2 pi into e raised to minus x into a plus I omega by a plus I omega minus a plus I omega in the limits 0 to infinity. When you put infinity, you will be getting the value as 0. E raised to minus infinity is 0. When you put 0, you will be getting it as 1 by root 2 pi into e raised to 0 is there, and this minus sign will go, so it will be simply be a plus I omega. Okay, so please correct me if into 1 by root 2 pi into simply a plus I omega in the denominator. Okay, so that is the answer here. So please correct me if I am wrong. So that's correct. So this is the answer. So these are the simple elementary problems involving Fourier transform. So only these type of problems are there. So we can try all these problems here. These are very simple problems. Please try to do these problems. Very tough problems are not required for you. In some guidebooks and they are given you very tough problems in which different difficult methods are required, like in the you may require differentiation, integration, everything, but that is not required for you. Only this much is required for you. Okay, now let us look at some simple properties of this Fourier transform. So one property is linearity property. So much detail is not required for you. Just need to know some property. If you want, you can also derive this formula using the familiar definition, just like the Laplace transform. So I hope you understand what is my linear property. Okay, so all we have done extensively linearity property in Laplace transform. So it's basically that same thing which is carried over here. So just try to understand. Nothing is there. Fourier transform of f plus g is Fourier transform of f plus Fourier transform of g. Okay, so same thing here, and also there is the derivative property. This also you can derive using definition. Derivation is not required for you, just to try to understand that. Okay, that is simply Fourier transform of f dash of x is, there is a factor of I omega coming here. Fourier transform of f of x. So similarly, I can extend this result. Fourier transform of f double dash of x is equal to it will be simply I omega into Fourier transform of f dash of x. Again, it will be simply I omega the whole square into Fourier transform of f of x. Okay, so we can carry out the definitions here. We'll be doing some problems now. So that's the property. Derivation if you want you can look, but it is not important. And also there is a convolution theorem also, just like a Laplace transform. Here also derivation is not required. The Laplace transform, you know, the convolution property was L of f star g is simply L of f into L of g. Here there is a slight change here. Here Fourier transform of f star g will be, there will be a factor of root 2 pi into Fourier transform of f into Fourier transform of g. So that is the convolution theorem in the Fourier transform case. Okay, so Fourier transform of f star g is equal to root 2 pi into Fourier transform of f into Fourier transform of g. So this is similar to the convolution property of Laplace transform. Only thing is that there is a factor of root 2 pi in the Fourier transform here, and also you know the derivation of this theorem is not required for you. Okay, so just try to see this result. We'll do one problem based on this result, but this is the thing. And also this slight difference in the convolution proper definition also. In the Laplace transform case, f star g was defined as integral 0 to t f of u into g of t minus u du. Okay, in the Fourier transform case, the slight difference is here it will be defined as integral minus infinity to infinity f of u into g of this t minus u du. So the limits is slightly different because Fourier transform is defined for the entire real line. So that is the only difference in the transform definition in the case of Fourier transform here. Okay, so that is one thing here. So now let us do one problem based on this convolution theorem. Okay, so I hope you please go through this theorem once again. The Fourier transform convolution of this function is basically the product of the functions into root 2 pi. Okay, so let us try to do one problem based on the convolution theorem also. So the problems which can come from this section is, one is they can ask you to find the Fourier transform of some problems, and also they can give you one problem based on convolution. So this is the maximum type of problems which can come from this section. Okay, so let's do one problem here. Let us find the Fourier transform of the convolution of the functions e raised to minus mod x and e raised to minus 3 mod x. Okay, so you know that already by convolution theorem, f of f star g is simply root 2 pi into f of f plus f of f into f of g. Okay, so now let us try to find f of f here. So what is f of f? You need to find the inverse Fourier transform of this one, that is actually integral 1 by root 2 pi into integral minus infinity to infinity e raised to minus mod x into e raised to minus I omega x dx. Okay, so that is integral, so e raised to minus mod x and e raised to minus I omega x dx. So if you want, you can simplify this as, so you can do it in many types. I'll just simplify this as, I'll write this as 1 by root 2 pi into integral minus infinity to infinity e raised to minus mod x into, maybe I can write it as cos omega x minus I sin omega x, okay, dx. Okay, how would I try that? This is from e raised to I theta is cos theta plus I sin theta, and e raised to minus I theta is cos theta minus I sin theta. So from that I am writing this one. Okay, why am I writing this? Because I am going to use the even function property to simplify this, because that contains mod x there, or else I will have to split the integral into 2 and it will be a bit difficult. So that is why I am using the odd or even property here. Okay, so this I can write as 1 by root 2 pi into integral minus infinity to infinity e raised to minus mod x into cos omega x dx minus integral minus infinity infinity e raised to minus mod x into I sin omega x dx, where your 1 by root 2 pi is outside. Okay, now if you look at this function, you can see that this is an even function, because if you replace x by minus x also, you will be getting the same result. So the value of this integral is 2 times integral 0 to infinity. Okay, and similarly the value of this integral will be 0 because the sign is odd function, this is an even function, so this will be 0. Okay, so the answer will be simply 2 times 2 by root 2 pi integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus mod x into cos omega x dx. This will be 0. Okay, and when your integral is from 0 to infinity, mod x will be actually 0. Mod x will actually be simply x, so it will be simply be root 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus x into cos omega x dx. Okay, so this is the value. Now you know the familiar formula of this one. Yesterday also I studied that e raised to x into cos bx. So use that formula to simplify the integral. So you will be getting it as, so what is it? So it is actually root 2 by pi into e raised to minus x by 1 plus omega square into so minus cos omega x plus omega sine omega x in the limit 0 to infinity. Substitute it, you will get the answer of f of f. So similarly you can also define the answer of e raised to minus 3 mod x also using the same technique itself. So using the odd or even function property, it will actually be reduced to e raised to minus 3x into cos omega x, and then you can simplify it, find the value of f of g also, and then multiply. So the detailed thing is actually written here. If you want, you can see the detailed ones. So this is the value here. So first one will get as root 2 by root pi into 1 by omega square plus 1. The second one will simply be root 2 by root pi into 3 omega square plus 1, and when you multiply you will be getting this result, and hence the final answer would be this one. Okay, so this is an application. Please try to complete this problem. It's a very simple thing. Just by using elementary definitions you can find the value of that also. Okay, so this is the Fourier transforms. So in the Fourier transform case, remember they'll ask you find the Fourier transform, and also using the convolution also they can ask you to do some problems. Okay, so moving forward, so we'll now discuss what is Fourier sine transform and cosine transform. Okay, so this is also the same thing, only what they'll ask you in the examination is find the Fourier sine transform, find the Fourier cosine transform. Nothing else will be there. Just finding the Fourier transform. Even if you look at the course assessment question or all sample question paper also, you will only find these type of questions. They'll ask you find the Fourier transform, find the Fourier sine transform, find the cosine transform. Okay, in many guides and all they have actually given you very tough problems, but for our examination purpose it is not required for you. Just try to understand the same simple properties. Okay, as I told you, the Fourier transform is obtained from Fourier integral. Similarly, the Fourier sine transform is obtained from Fourier sine integral, and the Fourier cosine transform is obtained from Fourier cosine integral. Okay, so here also the derivation is just the same. I'll just substitute the value of b omega into this one. Okay, and from this I am actually writing down the definition of Fourier sine integral, but I am not going into the details there. It's obvious if you look at the definition of Fourier sine transform. Okay, now the Fourier sine transform is defined as, in your textbook it is defined as fs cap. It is written as simply root 2 by pi. I hope now you understand why I am taking root 2 by pi, because I am going to distribute this 2 pi equally there. Okay, root 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity f of x into sine omega x dx. That is the definition of Fourier sine transform, and the inverse transform would be simply be same thing only, root 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity again fs cap omega, okay, sine omega x d omega. So this is the Fourier inverse transform, Fourier sine inverse transform. Okay, so this is definition. So we can see this root 2 by pi f of x and sine omega x, and inverse one it will be fs omega sine omega x d omega. Okay, so remember this first integral is with respect to x, so you will be getting a function in terms of omega. Second integral is with respect to this omega, hence your function will be a function of x. Okay, so remember these two things here. And similarly you can define Fourier cosine transform also. It's same thing only, that is root 2 by pi into f of x into cos omega x dx, and again root 2 by pi into f of x into cos omega x d omega. So in the examinations they'll ask you find the Fourier sine transform or find the Fourier cosine transform. So just try to study the definition and apply the problems. Only that much is there. Okay, so what are there from this section? Find the Fourier transform, use apply convolution theorem to find the Fourier transform, find the Fourier sine transform, find the Fourier cosine. So only these four problems will be coming from this section. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay, so let us do some problems based on this one. Look at the definition. Even inverse finding problems are also not required. Okay, it's not required for you. In the textbook they have actually formed the Fourier transform table, but it is not required for you because you are not going to find the applications of Fourier transform. You are not going to study that. Okay, so the Fourier transform table in the textbook is not required for you. Okay, so it's very simple thing here. So direct definition only, that much problems are there. Okay, so let's now look at these problems here. Find the Fourier sine transform and cosine transform of these functions. It's very simple thing. If you want to find the Fourier cosine transform, what I have to do? It is fc cap of omega. It is simply root 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity f of x. F of x is f of x into cos omega x dx. Okay, so use that definition here. Here f of x is basically 0 k only, so it will be simply be root 2 by pi integral 0 to a, up from 0 to a, k into cos omega x dx. Straightforward integration, so it is actually equal to root 2 by k into the integral of cos omega is sine omega x by omega in the limits 0 to a, so it will be simply be root 2 by pi k sine a omega by omega. Okay, similarly, you can find the Fourier sine transform also there. So it's very simple thing. Straightforward problems. Okay. And again, let us do one more problem. Find the Fourier transform of e raised to minus x. Okay. Cosine transform. But how will you find it? Don't look at the answer here. You can find it directly. What is it? Actually, it's actually root 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity. Okay. F of x is actually e raised to minus x into cos omega x dx. Straightforward calculation. What is it? Actually, it is root 2 by pi into e raised to minus x by 1 plus omega square, okay, into minus cos omega x plus omega sin omega x, minus cos omega x plus omega sin omega x in the limit 0 to infinity. Okay, substitute it. When you substitute e raised to infinity, it will become 0. When you substitute 0, you will be getting as root 2 by pi is there. Then by 1 plus omega square is there. So this one will be cos omega 0 is 0. Sorry, 1. So since this lower limit, you will be getting as 1. Here it will be 0. So this is the answer. Okay, very straightforward problem. So these are the problems coming from this section also. Finding the Fourier sine transform, cosine transform. So to study the formula of Fourier transform, they can ask you find the Fourier transform. They can ask you find the Fourier cosine transform, and they can also ask you find the Fourier sine transform. Okay, please try to do some more problems also. So this is the fifth module. Okay, that's all. Okay, thank you.